Welcome into episode 7 of Short Shifts, the North American Hockey League podcast. I'm Brandon Hofstra, joined in person, finally, with Vinny Paracelli. I think the last time we did an interview was here at the Blaine Super Rink. Over there on that side, though, we got a nice little setup here for this weekend, but last time we were in this exact room, the lights kept going out. Remember that?
I do.
Yeah, that was fun.
Nobody saw that because it was just audio.
Nobody saw that because we didn't have the video yet. So welcome to the video. Welcome into episode 7. Welcome to the NA3HL showcase and the PHL event with the show teams here in town. But more importantly, here we are in person together doing this. But yeah, welcome into the show. Vinny, anything you want to add from the last few weeks? I mean, we're going to get into the standings and stuff like that. And from what I was looking at my notes from last week, there was some things that have changed and some things that have stayed the same and some things that have fallen into a landslide and now maybe evened out.
It's come to my attention. I've motivated some teams in the North American Hockey League, specifically the East Division. We're going to get into that in a little bit. I believe I've how do I want to say this? 'Cause I don't want to get fired.
I'm going to let you pick your words.
But my boss has had some words to say about things I've said on the program.
Yeah.
Nice things,
yeah.
maybe?
Yeah.
Constructive criticism? Or
100%.
just good razzing? I don't know.
Everything.
All of those things. Look, I will take full credit for the teams in the East Division that are not in first place, that are playing better. I motivated them. Someone's got to be the villain sometimes, you know? And I will gladly take on that role and accept
I see the horns. So anyways, Vinny might be the villain, whatever. We'll talk about the standings here coming up. We also have a good interview in this podcast with Kayden Hargraves of the Fairbanks Ice Dogs. He played in the PHL. He played here at the NA3HL showcase, which I said that we're at, currently in the NAHL. But obviously, let's get around to the standings around the league. Austin in the Central Division, they lead 39 points, 17-4, 2-3 record, 7-2, 1-0 in their past 10 games. Even though they got swept last weekend, 4-3 overtime and 3-0 loss to Aberdeen, they're still led by Walter Zacher, 24 points, 15 goals, 9 assists. Defensively, Jack Malinsky, 20 points, and they're splitting time with Ethan Roberts and Trent Wilkinson. Right behind them sits Aberdeen, who is 14 8-1-2 with 31 points, and they're streaking 8-2. But let's dive in on the Austin Bruins right now, Vinny.
Yeah, Robertson, the goaltender you mentioned, just committed to Canisius College, so good for him. Congrats to him on the Division I commitment. They got swept, like you said, but they got redemption this weekend coming up. We're recording this on Friday the 16th.
Yeah.
So yeah, big games coming up for them. They can easily just get back to about 10 points up in that division. Kind of take a stranglehold on it going into the holiday break. We're roughly reaching that halfway point. Mm-hmm. Most teams will get to 30 games or so this weekend. So Austin kind of in control right now. Kind of in control. If you look at the goal differential in that division, Austin's plus 26. There's no other team that's better than plus 5 after that. Right. So you could tell that Austin puts the puck in the net and they also keep the puck out of their net, which is relatively a good key for success in the sport of ice hockey. So, I mean, it sounds really obvious, but, I mean, you'll get teams like Aberdeen's only a plus 5, although they've won, more games than they've lost. You've got St. Cloud at minus 17, last year's Central Division champion, a couple points out of the playoffs. North Iowa, Minot, tied for third. Bismarck, positive goal differential despite being in last place in the division.
Yeah.
Maybe that second half they can get hot again like last year and make a nice postseason run.
Cat scratch fever. We'll see what they end up doing. Let's jump right into the eastern side. Like we said, a little bit of special wordage was used for what's going on over there. But Maryland, they still sit atop of the East Division. Yes, we stated that they were untouchable, but it's been kind of a skid for the Black Bears as of late. 4-4-2 in their last 10. Sort of started back on November 19th with a loss to Johnstown, 4-3 in overtime, and then dropping back-to-back games to the New Jersey Titans the following weekend. Swept by Northeast in the following weekend series, then splitting last week with Philly after finally getting back in the win column, 5-4 in overtime. I caught the rest of that game. We were sitting around just hanging out at the house. I'm like, let's fire this up and see what they do. But when we last checked in, they were sitting with 41 points and a record of 25-1-0, 7-2-1-0 in their past 10 games. So right now, 21-7-2-0, 44 points. So they haven't really been trending as best as they should have been, what they've kind of done this season so far, but they could kind of get back to their winning ways. And here's some other notes I sat down. Christian Conolato has been absolutely silent on the score sheet for the last 5 games. Obviously, a huge point of their offense. He's been leading the NAHL in scoring, 34 points. Brandon Piku has kind of picked up some of the slack offensively on the score sheet in the last 4 games with 8 points in those 4 games, 23 on the season. And then Sean Kilcullen, another huge part of them scoring. He has been quiet as well. He had 22 points. 4 goals, 18 assists, but we have not seen production from him in the last 4 games straight, and he has had 1 point in the last 8 games. So
I don't have it.
Two of the wheels are kind of falling off.
I don't have as many of the numbers as you might have there. What I have seen, though, in just looking, they've been getting shots on net. They've been putting the puck to the net. Now, are they all quality shots? Maybe not, but goaltenders are playing better against them. I think it's just a little bad luck right now. I'm still going to be cautiously optimistic and say a 10-point lead.
And cautious with your words.
Halfway through the season, you should get the job done. But I will say the New Jersey Titans, we said this last episode, they are back.
Yeah.
They are on an 11-game point streak. They are 8-0-1-1 the last 10. They are back. They are officially
Even better,
back.
9-0-1-1.
Well,
they're streaking 9-0-1-1.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go
No,
ahead.
But, well, I mean, the point is they're back.
They're back.
They're
playing with
back.
fire.
They are the defending champions. They had their hangover. They're like, all right, time to get off the mat, start kicking some butt. They've been doing that as of late. The Generals are still right in it. We said the Maine Nordiques were hot last episode. They hold on the last playoff spot as of now. Johnstown, Philly, Danbury, all kind of just in the background, not doing a whole lot.
Around.
But Philadelphia, you got to give credit. They gave Maryland some problems.
Yeah.
They took three out of 4 points last weekend, so they're going to be in it till the end. Johnstown, I really don't know what to make of them, honestly. Like, there's some weeks where you go, oh man, they look really good, and then they got other weeks you're like, they're not a playoff team. So tough. You think actually if this division's tough, just wait till we get to the next one.
Yeah.
As we've discussed already. But I'm going to say it again. I think Maryland's okay. New Jersey's hot. I think Maryland's okay. Let's just not have that back. Let's go into the holidays. Let's relax. Let's ease up on the cookies a little bit. Let's get back after it and show Piney Orchard Ice Arena how it gets done, because those fans saw a lot of winning early on.
Yeah.
They're buying into the hype, and then are they saying, "Oh no, we've seen this movie before"?
They're not giving up on them.
I'm cautiously optimistic. We still got half the season to go,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm thinking the Black Bears will stay in first place.
Let's jump over now to the Midwest. Last episode, it was a tight race, and it is still a tight race for first place. Right now, Minnesota Wilderness currently atop with 17-9-1-2 record, 37 points. They're 6-3, 0-1 in their past 10 games played. Behind them, Kenai 35 points, Chippewa 34 points, Fairbanks 33, Janesville 32. So those two will take on each other this weekend, actually. And then Anchorage 30, Wisconsin 28, and Springfield 24. So we said it earlier. We said it last episode. We're saying it again today. We said it in the interview. We said it to the interviewee. The Midwest is as tight as a rope right now, and it is anybody's ball game, and it is going to be a dogfight until the very end.
Well, I mean, you just look at we'll look at the streaks. Minnesota, 1 loss. Kenai, 1 win. Chippewa, 1 loss. Fairbanks, 3 losses. Janesville, 1 win. Anchorage on a 5-game point streak. Wendigo on a 6-game point streak. So, a couple teams are hot, but it's a lot of, kind of back and forth. You win one, you lose one.
Yeah.
You win one, you lose one. What I think it's going to come down to? How many of these games are going to go to overtime? How many of these games are going to get that third extra little bonus point?
Right.
And who's going to come away with more of those points? Because the Wilderness have 3 overtime/shootout losses.
Mm-hmm.
Kenai with just the 1. Chippewa with 2. Fairbanks 3. Janesville with 6.
Then
Anchorage with
6
6.
again. Yep.
So, I mean, that's 6 losses that, maybe it's 2 or 3 more losses than, say, other teams.
Right.
But because they get that extra point, they're right in the hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Janesville's a point out of a playoff spot if the season ended right now.
Yeah.
I think that, obviously, if you can get a 5, 6, 7, 8 game winning streak in February, January, March,
you're
even,
moving. Yeah.
you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
But if you can't at least do that, get some of these loser points.
Yeah.
And I hate calling them loser points because, but you could have a game where you're down. I mean, we saw this year where Anchorage was down 4-0
Right.
to Fairbanks. They came back and won the game and got the full 2.
Right.
But Fairbanks still got that point. And at this rate, that might be the difference between making the playoffs and not making the playoffs.
100%. Every point matters at this point, whether A loser point, like you put it, or the full 2. South Division now, Lone Star, they're back on top of the division, 43 points, 22-1-2 record, and they're rolling on a 7-game point streak, currently 7-1-1-1 in their past 10 games played. Mason Mara leads the team offensively with 17 points. That was offensively, sorry. Defensively, Bauer Swift, 11 points. Arthur Smith, who leads the NAHL as the top goalie, 9-1-0-1 record, 1.17 goal against, and a .947 save percentage. So
he's pretty good.
He's pretty darn good. So last week, or 2 weeks ago when we did our last episode, was Oklahoma in front. So I have a feeling it's going to be these two kind of going back and forth.
I think at least me, I don't know about you, but I'm thinking what I said last episode, and I think I need to apologize to Lone Star because, not that I discounted them, but, they're just not exciting.
They're
not
have a giant leading scorer.
They have 75 goals in 25 games. This means they score 3 goals a game. Mm-hmm. If they've won 20 of those games, they're winning games 3-1, 3-2. Meanwhile, you got Oklahoma, who is one of the best offenses in the league, and they're blowing teams out. Right. They're just, they're scoring at will. 102. They're exciting. New Mexico was hot for quite a bit. They had the outdoor game that just happened. Yep. We were really, at least for me, I was pumping the tires of Oklahoma and New Mexico. Mm-hmm. Lone Star just reliable. They just get it done. Solid D, good goaltending, the classic Dan Wildfong style. It's playoff hockey, how they swept Oklahoma a few weeks ago.
Right.
They find a way. Mm-hmm. Every single year they find a way. You always are thinking every year you look at the standings and you go, okay, these 4 teams made the playoffs. Which one of these 4 teams got worse to where you could drop them, or you look at some of the bottom 4 teams. Okay, who got better?
Right. That
they're going to go in that spot.
Right.
And we said at the beginning of the year, oh well, this team, they're pretty solid. They're probably make the playoffs. Lone Star, it's always that team. They're always that team where they're just yeah, we're just gonna do our thing. We're not gonna, overhype it. We're just gonna win with good goaltending, solid defense. We're gonna keep all your shots to the outside. You're gonna get 3 chances a game. If you don't convert on them, well, we're probably gonna win 3-2. It's just, I hate to say it, it's just boring.
It's like Smash Mouth old. It's like watching the Iowa Hawkeyes play football.
It's like watching a lot of
hand off down
football.
the middle.
Yes.
Hand off down the middle. These guys.
But it works.
It
works.
Yep, it works. I mean, they're winning. They're top of their conference by 8 points. Not a good math guy. Whatever.
6 points, but still.
Even better. I was close.
You were close, but they're just not exciting. And I know. And Ryan Anderson, assistant coach for Lone Star, who is a beauty. We need to mention that. He'd be like, so what? We're winning games. We're getting it done. We're getting 2 points, 4 points every weekend.
Right.
Who cares how we do it? And I would go, yeah, but you want to score
take a nap and watch the game.
Yeah, it's so tough to watch a Lone Star game because I know it's going to be 2-1, final minutes, and they're just locking it down, blocking shot, selling out, eating pucks. Just, man, this is not exciting. I want to see more offense.
Maybe you'll get your wish down the line, but as of now, they lead right now in the South Division. Behind them, Oklahoma 37. Third place, New Mexico, 30 points. Behind them at fourth, Shreveport 28. Amarillo 27. Odessa 6th place with 25. El Paso 7th place 21. And then rounding out the South Division is Corpus Christi with 17 points.
Do the Odessa Jackalopes want to figure it out for us?
I would hope.
They're 12-12-1.
Yeah.
They lost 5 in a row. Now they've won 5 in a row. Let's just pick a lane, guys. Come on, pick a lane. They've had an exciting couple of weeks. They've had some Oklahoma came in and whooped them.
You're right.
Then they come in and they sweep the weekend at home. I can't even think who they just beat. Corpus Christi. They had the Michigan goal. It was sick. They had an overtime win. They look like a team that's figured it out. I just want them to be more consistent. The Jack Shack has been popping lately.
Jack Shack.
That's what it's called. I mean, not the official name, but that's what they call it. Go. Mike, you need to text us and the play-by-play guy. The Jack Shack is where it's at.
All right, I'll take your guys' words. Send me an invite. We'll come up.
Real quick. Think of the names that some of these places got. Lone Star has the Shoebox. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Nicknames, right?
Yeah.
We got the George.
Who's that?
George's Pond in Shreveport.
Okay.
We got the Jack Shack.
How about you name them and then I try to guess them? This will be a new little segment because I don't know.
Well, you know the Big Dipper.
That's in Fairbanks.
Yeah. See, there you go.
I just learned that from our interview, which you got to stick around for.
Have you heard of the Dome?
No.
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's called the Dome, but
let me guess. Wisconsin.
There you go. Yeah, I was gonna say it's newer. We got the.
I knew that one.
I think we got the Ben. The Ben.
Ben. Janesville.
No, we have that's the hangar.
Oh, okay.
Naturally.
Jets.
Yes.
Okay.
That was too easy. I can't give you that one. No, the Ben Boeke Ice Arena is in
No idea.
Anchorage.
Oh.
The Wolverines play out there. We've got the Den. Do you know the Den? Now this is
The Bears?
It's one of the Bears. Which one is it?
Kenai.
I mean, maybe they call it that. I just know the one hashtag is defend the Den for Maryland.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if Austin has that too. They might call it the Den.
There's a lot of Bears running around.
Oh, I got this. He's not gonna get this one. The Odie. Defend the Odie. The Odie Ice Center Arena. No.
What state?
South Dakota.
What? Who's it? Aberdeen.
There you go.
Yeah, duh. Come on. All right.
I'm trying to think. Anyone else? Oh, the MAC.
Mid-America Center, Council Bluffs, Iowa.
I just know that's in St. Cloud. It's the something athletic complex or something like that. Listen, the Jack Shack.
Everybody's got character.
Everyone's got character. Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got the War Memorial. I don't know if that's it.
Is that a nickname?
Well, it's where what's it called? Slapshot was filmed.
Oh, Johnstown.
There you go.
Boom.
You're getting it.
So
I think that's all I got. But it's not bad. You did pretty good.
I think I passed.
I mean, the Ben is very generic.
Right.
Right. The Den, we have too many teams named after Bears.
Yeah.
So that could be difficult. The Odie is the name of the owner, Greg Odie. He owns the rink, owns the team. So that's kind of generic.
Shoebox. I never would have got shoebox from
It's
NITEX.
shaped like a shoebox.
Yeah, it is a square.
You're right on top of each other too. Like it's tight in there. Yeah, they call it the shoebox.
That's fair.
And George's Pond is more of a sentimental thing when Shreveport.
Okay.
But,
the more you know.
Yeah. And the
more you know.
The Big Dipper is the name of the arena.
I think that's cool.
I think so too. Well, and as we'll get to, and the people will get to our interview with Kayden Hargraves, he says it's the best place in junior hockey.
Yeah, it's an unreal spot. Speaking of, we'll send that over to him here in a second. But anything else you want to add, Vinny, before we toss it over to Kayden? Thrizzle action this weekend.
Well, I was gonna say we're at the 3HL showcase. Mm-hmm. Plenty of guys have come through the 3HL to the NA. Kayden Hargraves, just another example of that. Play with the Texas Brahmas. So he we talked to him a little bit about playing in Brahma land and then going to the Big Dipper,
aka the shoebox, then to the Big
shoebox.
Dipper.
Yeah,
Come on, read a book.
Sorry, but a lot of good players come from the NA3. They make their name in the NA and they go Division 1. I mean, gosh, we need to find the list because it's a very long list of guys that are in the NA right now that played in the 3HL. But let's get to the interview. Let's hear what Kayden had to say about his time in all the leagues under the North American Hockey League umbrella.
Boom. Joined here by our guest, Kayden Hargraves. He spent some time in all three of the leagues in the North American Hockey League, from the PHL, then going to the NA3HL, where he played with the Texas Junior Brahmas, 22 games. He totaled a 1.46 goal against average, a .937 save percentage. And since then, he's been up in Fairbanks, Alaska, and we'll look at his total games played so far in the NAHL. It's been 3 years, 92 games, 2.63 goal against average, and a .917 save percentage. And he's committed to go play over in Sioux Falls, South Dakota at Augsutana University. Welcome to Short Shifts Podcast, Kayden. It's a pleasure to have you here, buddy.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Good introduction. So, yeah, happy to be here.
Thanks. That's my main job. Let's first off talk where you at. Obviously, you're in a hotel room. You guys are getting ready for a big weekend of hockey, but just how's the road trip been?
Yeah, it's been good. We spent 2 weeks down in Marshall, Minnesota, which was kind of where my North American Hockey League time started. We stayed down there for 6 or 7 months my first year, so it was good to get back. Good to see my host families down there, and yeah, it's been good. Had a good chunk at home before this too, so kind of nice to get back on the road, hang out with the guys. So.
We talked to you before we started recording. You're a Wyoming guy mainly. You spent some time in Denver. Talk to us about your experience growing up in those areas and how you got involved in the game of hockey.
So, yeah, I was born in Colorado. I started playing youth hockey around Broomfield, playing for the Jaguars and then kind of just AA stuff until I played AAA for Thunderbirds and then for Rough Riders in the NAPHL. So, yeah, it was super good. A lot of good coaching, a lot of good guys to be around. So it was a good time. Yeah.
talked about that a little bit. Then we mentioned too, you spent some time down in Texas. So got away from the snow. You came down from Colorado, came down to Dallas area. Talk about your time in the NA3HL with the Brahmas. And then obviously the weekend we're here in Blaine, Minnesota right now for the NA3HL showcase. Did you play in that as well?
Yeah, I did play in that showcase. Down in Texas with the Brahmas, it was probably one of the most fun years of hockey I've ever had, and it was a huge learning experience coming into junior hockey and playing with a lot of guys that were quite a bit older than me, and some good atmospheres down there. It was fun. A lot of travel. That kind of opened my eyes up to how much travel you do as a junior hockey player and kind of the day-to-day of it. So
did you make it out of Texas? Fun. Did you make it out of Texas without cowboy boots and a hat?
I already had them.
Oh, love it. Love it. Sorry to cut you off there.
What is Brahma land like to those that don't know? Especially, I mean, coming from the Colorado area, which is more of a hockey hotbed, Texas, obviously a non-traditional market. What's Brahma land like to those that maybe are, thinking about playing for the Brahmas one day?
Yeah, it's a cool atmosphere. There's a lot of good fans down there. Kind of same thing as Fairbanks, where they aren't used to hockey as much, but they love it. So it's pretty fun place to play.
What's it like having an NA team in the building? Do you think that contributed to some of your success in getting to the NAHL?
Yeah, definitely. Kind of just seeing those guys around the rink, and I skated with them from here and there, and talked to them, had the same goalie coach and stuff like that. So kind of learning from those guys, and yeah, I think it definitely did.
Talk about now that kind of transition, like we just talked about. You went from the NA3HL over to the NAHL, dropped right into Fairbanks. Talk about that transition, not just the type of play and how much quicker the game gets as you move up every level, but moving to Alaska. Did you ever think that you would find yourself in the Great White North up there in Fairbanks?
No, I never did, and that's kind of one of the things that persuaded me to go up and play for Fairbanks. Was in my head, it was kind of an experience that you may never get again to go up there. So so they drafted me after my season in the NA3HL, and then I thought I would be going to Fairbanks, and then because of the COVID situation and all that, I actually ended up in Marshall, Minnesota. Unbelievable rink and stuff, and so we went through training camp. I didn't really know if I had a for sure spot or anything, and then as things progressed, I guess I proved myself to the team, and just been working. Had Trevor Stewart as my coach. That was an unbelievable coach, and he helped me grow a lot through a year and a half that I played for him. And then, it was it's a tight run ship, so it was pretty fun to get thrown into it.
You talked about like getting drafted by Fairbanks. That whole offseason was kind of weird, obviously, because no one really knew what was happening with COVID and everything. You guys had a really good team in Texas that year. Maybe thought about a run at the Fraser Cup. All of a sudden, season stops, hockey's just over out of nowhere, and now you're like, oh, what next? What was that period of time like for you? Like you said, you got drafted, so you kind of knew you had a place to go, but there was a lot of uncertainty at that time. Like you said, you didn't even go to Fairbanks for 6-7 months. I mean, what was that whole transition like off the ice?
Well, yeah, it was kind of, everybody was kind of just, obviously COVID had happened and everybody didn't really know what was going on. And so the time from when our season ended to the time I got drafted was quite a bit of time. I think is a couple months. And then once I got drafted there, the rinks opened up and I was able to get back on the ice and start playing hockey again. So that was nice. And then, I didn't know anybody on the team, and I hadn't met the coaches personally. I didn't go to a training camp. I just kind of showed up and started playing hockey. But it worked out better for me worked out really well for me. So it's nice.
Let's talk about these last 3 years. I kind of mentioned it briefly as I asked you what it was more like to live in Alaska than I guess where you didn't think you'd end up, but kind of talk about the move from the NA3HL to the pace of play of the NAHL and what you learned quickly as being a rookie in the NA compared to your last, and I guess your only year that you had in the NA3HL.
The North American League. I think that the main difference for me was every single team can beat you on any night, and there's so many good hockey players in this league. So I guess in the NA3HL, you kind of had those big games where you knew they were going to be a tough game, but in a sense, there's kind of those games where you could maybe not have your best night and you still win. And I think in the North American League, that is non-existent. I think that every single night, every team is going to play their best. And as a goalie, I guess it's not as much like a skill thing. It's just a mental thing, coming ready to play every night for 60 odd games out of the year. So,
Do you have any pregame rituals that you always stick with?
I'm not too superstitious with
Just a
stuff
little
like that.
stitches?
Just a little. There's some stuff in Fairbanks that I do with some people, so, but not too much on the road. Same kind of music before every game.
Okay.
Yeah, not too much though.
What is the Big Dipper like? We've heard stories. Ann and I have not been there. We've kind of seen it on the internet, but what is the Big Dipper like? And luckily for you, you don't have to actually deal with the crowd from a hostile environment sense, but like, like that Barnes is absolutely buzzing every weekend.
Yeah, it's unlike anywhere else in junior hockey, I would say. It is the most fun. Like, I couldn't imagine playing anywhere else. Sold out every night, just crazy fans. Everybody's yelling. After the games, you go and talk to the fans, and it's people you'd be out there for an hour and a half after every game and not sign all the autographs that want to get signed. So it's pretty crazy. It's kind of, it like gives me chills talking about it, how cool it is to play in front of all those people, and they just love us. So
Kind of local celebrity.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Prof doing donuts on the four-wheeler out there.
Oh, yeah.
In their admissions and stuff.
Yeah. So he puts on quite a good show. He's the best at what he does, so he makes sure that place is rocking every Friday and Saturday.
Yeah. And in the South, don't they throw things out onto the ice?
The South, they throw stuff on
So
the
you
ice.
probably saw little Brahmas being
Yep.
thrown out on the ice. Is
Yep.
there anything like that you guys do up north? Like, are you going to start something? Maybe like little salmon or little ice dogs?
In Kenai River, actually, like when they score on the opposing goalie, they throw salmon on the ice. So they do that up there.
He doesn't want to see that. Clearly.
Yeah, you don't want to see that one.
Yeah, no, never.
I mean, Fairbanks, their fans are like pretty loud and give it to the other team a little bit, but they're like very respectful.
Yeah.
I would say, like, they don't throw anything on the ice. They kind of keep it within the game. So
I would say 7 other Midwest Division teams definitely do not agree with that statement. But I mean, obviously Fairbanks is Fairbanks. What's the most hostile environment you've played against in the North American League?
And side note on that, is there a good rivalry between any of the Alaska teams?
Yeah, definitely Anchorage is the toughest environment to play in. It's kind of an odd rink, so the lighting's kind of weird, so that makes it a little difficult. And then the fans, I mean, they hate us just as much as we hate them. So yeah, that's probably the best one. Kenai's a rivalry as well. It kind of comes and goes more so than Anchorage does. When we play Anchorage, we just know that it's going to be a bloodbath, and our fans hate their fans, and their fans hate us. It's super fun to play there. And yeah, they've been pretty good since they started. So it's always competitive, and that's probably the most fun away environment to play in for me.
Anywhere else in the continental states that's a little hostile in the Midwest?
Maybe like Wilderness.
Okay.
Most Midwest divisions don't quite. For us, it's normal for us to play in those crazy environments in like Kenai and stuff. So it's a little different when we come down to the continental states.
Yeah. Speaking of the continental, like, you guys travel obviously more than I would say. I mean, you said you traveled a lot in the NA3, but I don't think that compares to getting on a bunch of different flights every other weekend and being on the road in hotels for 2 weeks at a time, and then being home for 2 weeks and just going back and forth. What is that like, and how do you keep your body right with all that travel?
Yeah, it's not the best, but you got to do it. Being in the hotels isn't the worst thing, except for like maybe the food, but you get to hang out with your teammates all day, and like if you're looking for good food, you could usually find it. But then on the flip side of that, when you're home for a month straight, like not many teams get to do that either, where you're playing in the Big Dipper week after week after week after week, and so that kind of makes up for the bad part of all the travel. I would say it kind of evens itself out. And then also our flight to Anchorage is only an hour, so that's not bad at all. And then Kenai's, I don't know, a 4-hour trip. So it's not terrible except for when we come down to the States, which we don't do too often. It's not a huge issue at all for me, really.
Speaking of food, we saw a picture of your head coach, Dave Allison, towards the beginning of the year. You guys were at like some resort kind of looking thing like that, and he was grilling some burgers and hamburgers. How were they? And you better answer correctly.
They were good. They were very good.
All right, he's getting started.
That was a pretty cool place to stay, actually, in Eagle River. They had like a resort for us. Yeah, it was super cool, super fun team building experience for the guys right at the beginning of the year.
I was gonna say that was right after the showcase. You guys packed up and just head out there, and probably not that far of a drive from Minneapolis where you were.
Yeah. No, it was super cool. We were out there for like a whole week, and they had like tennis courts, basketball courts, volleyball, and it was nice out.
Weather was nice. Yeah, that's cool. That's real
cool.
Didn't
feel like you were in the Midwest division at all. So,
right.
All right, Kayden, back onto the ice. You've been a 3-time Midwest Division Star of the Week this year. You just committed to Augsutana. Your numbers, your save percentage especially has improved year after year. What has been the key to that success and sustaining it?
I would just definitely say like the mental aspect of it, and kind of just knowing that you could do, you could go out and play how you want to play, and that the team's going to help you. We're all working towards the same goal. And then when everything kind of comes together and clicks, it works pretty well. And also just gaining trust in your team from when you first get here, like, you're a rookie, you don't really know where you stand. And then once you play with the same guys for 2 years straight, or even 3 years straight, you kind of get a sense of trust in each other, if that makes sense. And then you can it's just good knowing everybody's working towards the same goal. And then, I guess is like on a personal level, it's just working at my craft every day, having fun in practice, and then kind of treating practice like a game, trying to stop every puck. And then, when the game comes, you're just ready to go. So just have fun with it every time.
You made that commitment, I believe, recently, right?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago now, maybe a week and a half ago.
So first off, congratulations. And a brand new program that'll start next year. You'll be a part of pretty much history in Sioux Falls and in the state of South Dakota, first NCAA D1 team out there. But you mentioned that you lived in Marshall, Minnesota for a while too. That's only an hour and a half drive, give or take, from Marshall over to Sioux Falls. So you'll be able to see your billet parents a lot. But talk about what made that decision for you to go to Augsutana and obviously be a part of what's going to be history out there in Sioux Falls.
Yeah, I just thought it was super cool going into a new organization, and they seem like they have their head coach, Garrett Rabwine. He's a unbelievable guy from what I've talked to him. And it just seemed like a great opportunity to go into a team that, like, it's just great schooling, great atmosphere around there. The rink's brand new. And then there's going to be a huge load of freshmen. So you're going to stay with the same group of guys for 4 years straight. So I really think it could be something special there. So it's pretty enticing to me. Small culture. It'll be super cool, I think.
Sioux Falls is a great town too. You'll have a blast out there.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how many schools, we don't have to say names, but how many schools did it come down to? Were you really struggling over where to go, or was this a spot where you're like, no, this is the best fit for me?
There was a few, nothing like crazy serious. I kind of talked to them for a little bit, and we kind of finalized something, and I just thought, wouldn't really want to go anywhere else. It seemed like a great spot and great people kind of starting that off, and I just wanted to be a part of it.
Let's kind of just dive right now back into this year. Midwest Division is just cutthroat tight right now. Every other weekend, I believe somebody new that's leading right now in Minnesota. You guys, fourth place, but a few games out of it, 33 points, 15, 11, and 3. Talk about this squad last year. Like we stated, your third year with this team. How much has it changed, and what have you taken away from every single year? You've made it 2 Robbie Cup appearances in the playoffs, but talk about just what you've learned, what you're bringing out onto the ice, and what your expectation is going forward, getting to the halfway point after this weekend.
Yeah, so last year we kind of just fell a little bit short at the end there. I think we had a really good group, like tight group of guys, and then coming into this year, I think we were pretty hungry at the start. We started off pretty well, and then kind of been a little bit even for a little bit here. I think we need to kick it back into gear. I think our leadership group is really kind of coming together, so I'm pretty excited to see what happens coming up the second half here. Just, tough division, a lot of good teams, so we just got to find a way to string a good amount together here.
All right, we'll get you out of here on this. You've played in all three of the leagues that is under the North American Hockey League umbrella. Obviously, it's a different pace each level you go up. What's the biggest piece of advice you would give to a young kid that might be in the NA3 or NAP to get to where you are now, where you're playing Division I college hockey next year?
I would definitely just say, enjoy being on the ice. For me, it was that's what kind of made it come easy, was enjoying the process of it, enjoying the practice, enjoying being around your teammates every day, enjoy all that stuff, compete all the time, and just have fun with it. And your skill will do its work, and everything will kind of fall into place if you just are a good guy to be around, and just have fun all the time, and work hard, and just embrace it all. Junior hockey is probably the most fun experience for me. I got to live in Alaska. I got to live in Texas. It's just an unbelievable experience. So just having fun with it all, embracing it all, and not taking anything for granted.
You left one major key out.
What
is it? Sweet mustache.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
I like it.
Kayden, we appreciate your time, man. Good luck out in Janesville this weekend, and we look forward to talking to you again.
All right, thank you. Yep.
Thanks again to Kayden Hargraves, getting ready to take on Janesville out there. What was the nickname of that place?
The Hangar.
The Hangar. Yeah, duh.
That's the easy one.
That's the easy one. Sorry, I let that one go. So, again, we want to thank him. We want to wish him the best of luck. Congrats on his commitment out to Augsutana. Pretty cool stuff. Super cool guy. Great mustache, I have to add.
You people and your mustaches. I don't get it.
It's a lifestyle, brother.
It definitely is.
It's a lifestyle. 100%. Hey, whatever. I was going to try to come up with something funny, but ignore it. Just whatever. Okay. Never mind. I don't know where my brain was going with that one. I do know what I was going to say, though, next. Promo, holiday season right around the corner, Christmas next week. We're running a little sale on shop.nahl.com, 10% off your order. Use the promo code, I cannot talk. Use the promo code short space, just like a space bar, shifts on all the merchandise needs that you have.
Short space shifts.
Yep, short
not
shifts.
Not the word space.
Not the word space. You're going to type short, then you're going to hit space bar, shifts. Short shifts. I'll go like this. Bing. It's going to pop up right here. Short shifts. Bing. Right there. Use that. 10% off your whole order. We got some new cool stuff in there. There's some Eddie Bauer quarter zips. They look pretty neat.
Okay.
Might have to hook my dad up with something. Hopefully the shipping's pretty quick, but we're going to say that it's going to be here 3 to 5 business days.
No, the shipping is very quick.
Is it? There we go.
USPS. Yes.
Boom. 3 to 5 business days. So, again, hop on over shop.nahl.com, 10% off using the code short shifts. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, first off, and lastly, I guess, to everybody tuning in, either listening or watching. We appreciate everybody. Thanks for hanging in here for episode 7, which seems kind of crazy. We're already on episode 7 and halfway through the year.
Yeah.
Real crazy. But
here we are.
Time flies when you're having fun.
We are having a lot of fun. It's good to do one of these in person again.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think we go back to the regular Zoom next time, but we'll be on vacation.
Yep, it'll be.
It's not a vacation; it's a working vacation.
Working vacation. Yep, I'll actually be on a plane back to Dallas.
Mark, we're doing a lot of work over the next. By the time this comes out, we get through the weekend. I think there's 9 days off of no hockey, but we're still doing a lot of stuff.
Working.
But no, we will actually though.
Yeah.
Across the space though, we'll have our top plays of the year.
Yep.
So far. There's still half the year to go, but top plays of the year so far will come out.
Cool.
So definitely be on the lookout for that. And then, like Brandon said, go get your merch. It's Christmas time. Yeah. People need stuff.
Treat yourself.
Exactly.
Even just for you. Anyways, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Brandon Hofstra, joined by Vinny Paracelli. Again, shop.nahl.com. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in a few weeks.